Are Bitcoin buyers finally running out of gas? You know who's not out of gas? The U.S. Navy, as strike groups and aircraft carriers have now entered the World War III chat. And in a shocking statement, the Federal Reserve are now on the edge of their seat. We have market participants waiting for a potential surprise rate cut in July. We're riding high of a massive trade that I closed early this morning at an incredible level. Bitcoin pulling back in a big way. I think my man Isaac's hot in the seat with another trade. We'll see how this one pans out. I closed mine this morning. I'm feeling amazing. Honestly, like I'm low on sleep, and I think I should keep it this way because me and Isaac have been crushing it all morning. Isaac, how you doing, man?
I'm doing great. Besides this trades, we're a little down right now, a little down 4%. But other than that, I'm feeling fabulous. Been cranking out content. We've been hype all morning, bringing the energy, bringing the heat, ready for another great Friday.
It's been great, man.
And
it's like honestly, my tether bag has hit levels where I'm kind of thinking about clearing it out again. I took some off the table, back up to that spot where, man, and you know what? Stacking Bitcoin with tether that I win on the trading side, nothing feels better. And this watch. Every time I'm like, you know what?
Paid for tether.
Need more Bitcoin. Need more Bitcoin. DeFi, crypto, and airdrops. I got to get on that, man. I mean, honestly, there's no way I could make the amount of money I am trading in just DeFi, but getting diversified into DeFi, definitely going to be doing that. We got to get on the phone this weekend. DeFi, crypto, and airdrops. Michael Moore, Destroyer, Laserface, Kryptoni, Mr. Uncle Tommy, Sean Behringer, Braxton Crypto, Kyle Watts, Cal Crypto Dude, Big Hands Dan, Sack Nasty, my man. We got Madman Manura, World War 208, and Sly Monkey and Chris Tapia. A lot of cool names here. Good to see you guys. Let's get into it. And down in the Rumble chat, we got Daniel 7260. So I'm excited, man. I'm feeling great. The title of this show, Bitcoin Buyers Exhausted. We got some crazy data about where the buys have actually been coming from on Bitcoin. And man, it is a little concerning for the little guy, not too concerning for the masters of money as we know it. And also a massive sell-off opportunity is what I'd be looking for if we actually do see it. We're going to take a look at all the charts and everything in this crypto space as we move forward here. Make sure you're following me on X. I shitpost late into the night often. And this is at Druth Crypto. I had this incredible short. I mean, this is the new angle to sell these. Oh my God, check this out.
They're out there watching, chasing, tracking every wallet, but they're never getting this.
Keep your Bitcoin safe from these greedy humans on an Arculus cold storage wallet. Click the link in our description. I got to run. They're here. See you later, chat.
This is the move, Isaac. This is the move, man.
Bro, I love AI so much.
I am addicted.
You do with that AI?
Completely addicted to these things. What up, Terry, Tommy? And also, so I was kind of trolling James Wynn last night. So James Wynn put out this post about a fake pump. He's not buying it. He's going lower. He's expecting 93,000 and 95K per Bitcoin. I was a little bit concerned seeing this come out. I was like, I had to ask the chat. Wynn thinks that we were going lower. I was sitting in a 25x long with the entire trading bag. And I had to put my stop loss slightly above my entry point just to cover fees. But man, I had to ask who's really going to win, chat. Close that trade, made 45% on the entire effing bag. About 5 o'clock in the morning today. My wife shook me awake. She's getting ready for work. She's like, honey, we're at 106. Close it. And I was like, oh my God. And this is the perfect combination. I can find the entry points. My wife's like, G'd it. That's how I'm known as Gedimus Maximus. So now, you know what? I'm sitting on a new fat bag. I'm feeling absolutely fantastic. Give me lower prices. I know it's not the thing you want to hear, Isaac. Where's your trade at right now? Let's go look
trade
at
I guess we could
let's pull it up. I mean, I don't have it. It's not on the screen, but I have it marked out on this one.
Never mark that. I'm down a little solid 3%. We're at my entry points at 104.149. We're at 104 flat right now, so I'm not that mad about it at all.
One thing to note: you do have higher lows on these minutes. This is a very strong volume node level that has been a big area of interest. Essentially, we have been developing this channel. I think I can better represent this on the 4-hour candles. I do want to pay attention to the 4-hour candles for the general move here. The range that I've kind of noted here is about 103.5. Been very, very strong, and that's where this old POC was developed out of this front kind of shelf, and then up to right about 108. But in the short term, if you're really looking at this in scalp trader's dream, which this is turning into for me, it's essentially going up to about 106.5. 106.5 is a pretty key spot here. So I do actually want to mark these out real quick just for myself in my trading experience here. So I'm going to do another one at these levels because I really feel pretty strongly that we've developed this nice channel to trade within. We are on the lower echelon of that channel, obviously. Now, the MACD, something to note, yes, we are, going back down in terms of, you see this green little peak is moving on its way back down into the red, but the red sell-off zones on the MACD movements are getting tighter and tighter to the upside, and we have a consistent upslope on these moving averages moving up as well in tandem. So I find that very, very fascinating for me. This is me as a trader. And I know a lot of people, I get the sentiment in the chat. They feel bored. I came to work, man, and I'm involved in crypto day in and day out. I am so damn excited, absolutely printing. And I've loved these ranges because they give me opportunity to utilize more of the data that I have from these volume nodes to take those trades from. So we'll keep an eye on this, Mr. Isaac. We got to get through all the stories, obviously. Make sure you're following us on YouTube at 79,200 subscribers. Make sure you're subscribed, become a member. If you are, excited about crypto, if you want to stay up to date with macro news as everything goes down, we cover Bitcoin, World War III, macroeconomics, culture, we cover as much as I can. And honestly, we have a lot to go over today. I know that the sentiment out there was that it's a slow news day. I have 60 news stories that mean a lot for our world, our bags, everything in between. Now, where's liquidity live here right now, Isaac? I want to see if we had a big buildup below us.
The 12-hour and the 24-hour have no liquidity below us.
Now, I mean, it's a little thin down here. These are pockets of like $1 to $5 million liquidation grabs. Above us are these big chunks, 50 million there, 57 million there. Let's go to the 24-hour and check it out as well. Again, to the upside. Let's go here to the 48 and really back up. Here's more of a kind of a contentious zone, but I could definitely see this being pretty enticing. Now, you can see the 103.5. This is generally, why I have that marked on the larger, essential range that we're in right now. But man, I'm kind of in agreement with Sack Nasty here. Where is this? Suck me down to 95K, baby. God,
I'm good because my liquidity is at my liquidation levels at 99K. So
oh my
away
God,
from that for quite some time, right, Chad?
Sack Nasty might get banned. Ooh. Oh my gosh, yeah. And this Yokola's got a great comment here. Where is this? Where is this Yokola comment? Because this is really my vibe here too. It's like, where is it? There it is. Yeah. War or no war, Bitcoin holds. Completely agree. And in the light of these major escalations with Iran and Israel, Bitcoin is still above $100,000 and has been for over 40 days. Absolutely mind-blowing for me. If you would have shown me the images coming out of Israel and Iran compared with the question, where would Bitcoin go? 6 months ago, that'd be a 25-30% haircut. Not so much. Markets are barely even moving. We're developing a channel. And in my opinion, things are looking gravy. Bitcoin dominance also looking very gravy. We have 65% to the upside. This is the 70% mark that is feared. This is the major fear zone for altcoins right here. If it does go up there, man, I mean, my trading's going great. My altcoin's not so great in that situation. That's why it's nice to be diversified. I'm also going to diversify further into getting into those DeFi pools with veteran crypto, DeFi crypto airdrops. But something to note here is that we are starting to see almost a parabolic type hockey stick trend take place on this. She's really trying to take off there. Hold on. I got a question. What do you got, Miss Brianna? Making scrambled eggs? We got eggs here? All right. Have at it. Scrambled eggs. Scrambled eggs for the kiddos. There you go. All right. So now let's check out the overall landscape of the markets. We got Bitcoin flatline for the day. Ethereum just under that $2,500 sticking point. XRP rolling over. I got some pretty actually scary statistics about XRP wallet creation. Now BNB, the knight in shining armor over here, ticking up to the green. This is the one that bothers me the most within my altcoin bag is the fact, I mean, even though the average buys on Chainlink are $3.90, seeing Chainlink at $12.80 this morning, absolutely aggravating. So trust me, I feel the aggravation on the altcoin side. It's just that I've been able to mitigate that and actually outpace the expectation of gains by really digging into trading. And every trade, we win Tether, it goes straight into Bitcoin and then straight into an Arculus cold storage wallet. These things are very fast, very easy to use. I'm often trading in the middle of the night. I can use these things frickin' barely awake, barely cognizant, because they are very easy to use. They use your biometric data to authenticate that it is you, and then you can get your crypto sent off if you need, but sending it to it, you don't need to do any of that stuff, and you keep your crypto off of exchanges, because in the light of these macroeconomic conflicts, these world wars being built out in the background, do not trust leaving your spot crypto on an exchange. I leave what I'm trading with, and that is all. So please use code BASE20 for 20% off. We've got a link down in the description for that. Let's check out where fear and greed is at. Ooh, we are under 50 right now. We're at a 48, looking juicy. I am psycho because I love the fear. I love lower prices, even though I'm, because I like the washouts. Yeah. And then I find those entry points on the washouts for those jackknife recoveries. That's where I have the most fun trading here. So fear and greed at a 48. People feeling a little bit skittish. Now, one thing I will say is that we have a very important video coming out this weekend. It's coming out
tonight.
This weekend. Actually, tonight? Is it coming out tonight?
5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Okay.
Be ready for that.
Well, this video is in reference to one of our main partners and sponsors of this channel, Bitcoin IRA, and really the ins of how you can take advantage of the Bitcoin IRA, the tax environment within it. And if you want to get a professional on the phone to get some advice on what is possible by putting your crypto in a diversified manner, some of it within a Bitcoin IRA, there's over 75 different cryptos that they can hold. Primarily, my focus is Bitcoin going into mine. Call 877-936-7175 to get a real person on the phone and get that advice. Again, 877-936-7175. Now, let's hop into all the news, all the chaos going on. We got a new whale increasing his Bitcoin long position up to $400 million.
Crazy.
Isaac.
Crazy.
$400 million. This is the thing. What a way to live, man. I got nearly $500 million riding on leverage on Hyperliquid right now. Absolutely unhinged. People are talking about this might be the next James Wynn, who famously went from 3 million to 100 million, and now he's taking donations and trying to YOLO back into the blockchain. This wallet, as of the time of this reporting earlier this morning, was down 3.2 million. Just a touch, but he is adding to that position. Absolutely crazy. And I think that came out when we were above 104K. So it's actually probably gotten a lot worse. But, I did have to say about James Wynn himself is that it is nice to see folks with the balls to give directional calls on Bitcoin like I do on this channel. It takes a lot of cojones to do so. We are literally trading the most volatile asset class on the planet publicly during World War III, LOL. So that is the reality of the situation. If you're good at it, you can win, but it takes a lot of practice, a lot of determination, a lot of focus to win against algorithmic robots and literal billionaires. Now, Bitcoin demand, on the other hand, is the most negative it has been on record, even more so during the bear market for retail. Now, this Bitcoin demand momentum shown here, negative demand momentum, is very, very deep, for Bitcoin, yet these ETFs keep hammering it up and hoisting up the price and psyoping people into believing that the market's really over, when in fact the masters that be, the Larry Finks of the world, the Howard Lutnicks, the Jack Mahlers of the world, they are gobbling up all the Bitcoin from weak hands as we speak. And now we're going to see some more chaos, and probably playing into why we saw that big flush out this morning is over $4.1 billion worth of Bitcoin and Ethereum options are expiring today. Now, this isn't the major one, because the ones that expire at the end of each quarter actually are more cataclysmic than what this one is happening today. It's not the end of the quarter, but probably playing into that wild price action that we've seen. Now, Arizona. And DZ was talking about the Arizona Bitcoin Reserve Bill, where they can utilize funds left over in stagnant accounts that they send emails to the owners about. If they don't really respond, then Arizona can then use those funds to purchase Bitcoin. The Bitcoin Reserve Bill, HB 2324, revived after reconsideration motion, passes the Senate with a 16-14 vote and heads to the House once again. The bill allows the state to create digital asset reserves using seized digital assets from criminal forfeiture. So this one, okay, great. They want to just steal Bitcoin and hold it for themselves. This is more of the psyop of the large masters that be in control of this world, really trying to just rip the Bitcoin out of the average retail market and put it into state reserves, into these hedge fund reserves. And I'm here just screaming from the top of the rooftops, man. Bitcoin, by all definitions, is here to stay. It's about making sure that it's on a cold storage device so that they can't go in and seize it and take control of it. Now, other things in Bitcoin, Norway is temporarily halting Bitcoin mining facilities that are using the most energy-intensive technologies as a Reuters report comes out. This is Norway bending the knee to the World Economic Forum in their green initiatives and stopping Bitcoin mining facilities that are, in their words, using dirty energy to gather that Bitcoin with. So what are your thoughts on this, Isaac?
No, that's just interesting. I don't know why they would, first of all, declare it dirty money. Is it because they're not using the Norway dollar system? Are they trying to get around it and speed up their process with Bitcoin, and they call it dirty energy because they don't like it?
No, it's because the World Economic Forum wants everyone to utilize wind and solar energy, the ineffective side of energy, and really, the cleanest energy out there is nuclear, but not a popular subject within the World Economic Forum, even though it is the road that these countries need to take to produce AI systems that they want to roll out. It really is all going to lead to the creation of nuclear energy to actually push forward AI. Are they also pausing the playing of video games that use GPUs? James Coulter is asking. This is kind of what happens when you lose control as a people of your government. And, right now in America, do I feel represented 100%? Absolutely not. But do I feel that the government has complete authority and control and monopoly of violence over the United States population? Hard no, because we have the most firearms of any country on the planet by a long shot. There's that. Later on the show, I'm going to hammer some pre-workout and go punch. You know what? I'm up in the game today. Isaac, talk to you about it a little bit. I'm up in the game, 3,500 punches today. That's what's going down. I'm a thick, quick-moving cat. I'm 37 years old. I just want to be able to move quickly, keep my my stuff juiced up just in case. Just in case. I just got to say it that way.
Anti myself. Yesterday was 200 push-ups and 2.5 miles. Today is 500 push-ups, but I'm not gonna run today because I need to give myself a break.
That's a lot of 100 push-ups in a row.
100 push-ups in a row. I'm gonna do 500.
So I could get 50, 100. I mean, but I don't weigh as much as you do.
Oh yeah, 100 is still freaking difficult. It's hard to throw them out. But
do I watch
you're
MMA?
Upping the ante. I am too.
I've been watching more so arm wrestling and Bigfoot videos. I love arm wrestling competitions. Absolutely. Devin Larrett is one of my favorite people on the planet. Now, let's go back to Bitcoin real quick before I go into militias. High value investors now dominate 89% of Bitcoin transactions, with an average transfer size hitting $36,000 as new retail demand dries up. Here's the devil in the details: is yes, that the overall, mass buys from retail is drying up, but the transactions, the size of the transactions is increasing. And these market managers like BlackRock, their bags are increasing. This is a clear sign to me that the PSYOP and the sleep that they have put the average person in when it comes to Bitcoin and crypto is working. And I just emphasize this because I don't want people out there, they tune in, they hear a little bit about Bitcoin, maybe they come to our channel and they want to learn about it. This is what's happening on the underside: is Wall Street and nation states are putting you to sleep about Bitcoin while they stack it in the background, and now retail demand is drying up while institutions are quietly stacking it in the background. Do not fall for the PSYOP. And this guy didn't fall for the PSYOP by any means. This whale grabbed 300 Bitcoin for $134,000 11 years ago. And massive conviction buy. Imagine 11 years ago when $130,000 meant a whole hell of a lot more than it does today. YOLOing in, buying 300 Bitcoin for $134K, which is half the cost of an average home at the time, and today cashed out for $31 million, man.
Fuck.
Absolute savage.
Fuck.
I mean, incredible, right? This is the power of Bitcoin being held long term. This is the power of having conviction. This is the power of having some balls and putting your money where your mouth is when it comes to what you're investing into your future with. Now, this from Tim Warren in response to Christopher Waller indicating a potential rate cut in July. Christopher Waller's with the Federal Reserve. So you're telling me there's a chance, right? You're telling me there's a chance. We may as well go check out the Fed CME tool real quick while we're in here to see if these conversations from Wallen have changed the market participants' expectations of rate cuts coming in July. So let's take a look at this. We are 40 days out. Let's check it out. So July still largely thought that there's going to be no rate cut, but that actually did tick up the expectations for July, now sitting at 16.5%. This is overnight, quite an increase, and will be interesting to see if more Federal Reserve chairs come out with a similar connotation and expectation of July rate levels. So Cynthia Loomis, the Savage, coming out talking about what the strategic reserve could do for our national debt as we have just breached $37 trillion. Let's have a listen.
I'm particularly pleased with President Trump's support of my strategic Bitcoin reserve initiative, which will address our national debt while securing America's position as the global leader in financial innovation. As Bitcoin comes into more usage, its use makes the whole system more secure, more robust, and more capable of serving our needs all over the world. We should be the global leader with this fantastic new ledger-based asset that is in a digital format that is going to be transformative of everyday economy and puts the everyday American, in fact, the everyday worker all over the world, in control of their own money.
See, that's why I like her finalization of this. It puts us in control of our own money. Now, the state, the U.S. reserves, that's not going to be in control of our, we're not going to be in control of that here as citizens of the United States. That's going to be controlled at a, State Department level. But what we can do is understand that this is the plan for the government and essentially move quicker than they can because they have a year or two of delegation going back and forth with each other on if it's okay, what funds they can use, and why the hell have they not valued gold in our supposed Fort Knox holdings? They're supposed to be, I can't even remember. I did the numbers on it. Essentially, we're supposed to have around $880 billion worth of gold in our reserves. Now, what they've left the evaluation of our current gold reserve at is $10 billion or $42 an ounce. Why would they not reevaluate the gold at the current levels of $3,400 where it actually sits instead of leaving it at $42 where it's been left since the 1970s. Makes you really wonder if the gold was actually there. Let me know in the chat what you think. I doubt it's there. I doubt that the gold is there. Drew got some sleep deprivation, delirium. Careful out there, brother. Now I'm all right, Alexander. I actually feel really, really good. I slept from 3 a.m. till 5. Then I went back to sleep at like 5:30 and woke up again at 8:30. So I feel pretty damn good. Is that enough sleep? Is that enough sleep?
Enough sleep? Yeah.
Because I've heard 4 hours is good. 5 hours is good. I can't tell. Yeah, it really makes me question if there is the gold in Fort Knox. We never got the audit. And there is all the reason in the world for the United States to just do the simple revaluation, recalculation of what the gold price is right now to be like, hey, things aren't that bad, right? We have $1 trillion in gold backing us up. What's the big deal? But instead, we leave it at a $10 billion valuation, leaving our, debt levels looking absolutely atrocious with very, very little backing it up. It really makes you ask the question, Isaac, do you think the gold's there? Do you think the gold's there?
No.
You don't think so?
I don't think the gold's there. If the gold was there, we would have had the audit. We would have known the exact amount of gold that's in there. They wouldn't be, trying to duck all the questions when it comes to where the gold is.
Well, and I think Cynthia Loomis kind of gets that too, because they haven't heard that conversation. Like, hey, I mean, she's kind of hinted at it, but there's been no conversation. Like, we could do the net neutral transfer of some gold into Bitcoin, right? It's not freaking there. That's why. That's why
it most likely would have already happened, or at least been in the talks about happening, but they won't do it because it's not there.
Right, like the Sovereign Wealth Fund lead, Howard Lutnick. He's got great experience with this type of stuff. Mm-hmm. Really makes you ask the question here. I'm getting my pre-workout going. We're going to get 3,500 punches in today, boys and girls. It's going to be huge. And then I'm actually going to take the kiddos out for some food and then go get some pizza tonight down at, what's that place called? Johnny's down the street. Have you ever been to Johnny's Pizza?
Yeah, I've been to Johnny's. I like Jets, though. I also like what's it called? Fusco's down in downtown Ackworth.
Yeah.
That place is the bomb.
Okay. Altcoins getting even more slapped than they were this morning. Holy God, we got to go take a look at that. All right, but now we're almost there. So first the M2 money supply pumps, then Bitcoin pumps. It's just the way it goes. And this is interesting. This shows the year-over-year growth rate of data from the top 21 central banks and their balance sheets. Every time the M2 money supply starts to move to the upside here in the pink, you start to get that expansion of banking balance sheets, which you can absolutely expect the same kind of expansion to fix that. My favorite graph in crypto, which is the unrealized losses on mid-sized banks here in the United States, which is now breaching $600 billion in commercial real estate holdings because no one's using the commercial real estate anymore. They're sitting on these ghost values, and they have to bolster up the banking data, the banking balance sheet data, to make everything look okay. But Bitcoin fades this M2 money supply. It's not that Bitcoin is just escaping. It's that Bitcoin moves in tandem with the amount of money that's floating around in the planet. It's not like you get rich quick off of Bitcoin. You protect your value with Bitcoin. You protect your buying power with Bitcoin, but it goes up. The amount of money that they're printing is going parabolic. That's why Bitcoin's going parabolic. That's why. Absolutely why. It's a very simple concept. And I just really wish that people came to that crescendo and understood that. So if you can take that information and slap it across the table to Uncle Joe or Aunt Sally when they're sitting here calling you a scammer for being involved in Bitcoin, for God's sakes, just use the M2 money supply, the amount of inflation that they've been dealing with in their real life. How much did milk cost 4 years ago, Aunt Sally? How much does it cost now? Oh, it doubled, it tripled. Well, you know what? So did Bitcoin. That's what's happening, is that the buying value, the buying power of Bitcoin is literally just protecting you from getting rugged by the central bank. It's not that Bitcoin's going parabolic, it's that the money supply is continually going parabolic, and it always will as long as there is a Federal Reserve in place. U.S., according to data, now has the lowest inflation in 4 years, according to National Economic Council Director Kevin Hassett. This is a lie. This is a scam. They keep taking out data points that make the inflation data look worse. They make the inflation data look as good as possible so that essentially they can keep this facade that everything isn't as bad as it really is for the average person. This is why I have Bitcoin. A very fundamental understanding of this situation from a macroeconomic level is why I have absolute conviction in Bitcoin. It's not from some spider lines from 2017. It's none of that. It's literally, I know how the central bank works. I know how the inflation actually affects the average person. And this is how I protect my family. And I can put more food on the table than ever. Now, Iranian stock market in the light of World War III is hitting new all-time highs. Israeli stock market's also hitting all-time highs. Twitter accounts, Black Swan, World War III, crash short, sell it all. All of this conversation going on as the Iranian and Israeli stock markets are going parabolic. People are, and this is where I want to go to the chat. Because you know me, okay? What happens to the markets during war in the United States? Just give me what you think. Do you think that World War III actual in America going in to World War III will crash the markets? Will send us into a Great Depression? Will create more than a 30% pullback on the S&P 500? Give me your answer. I need to know. And we can visualize this. Just I want to get people's answer on this. I want to get a feel for where people's heads are as we head into this very contentious time frame for humanity over the next few months, because I'm telling you, it's not going to slow down. The rhetoric's not going to slow down. We got B-2 bombers potentially flying across the sea right now. Let's take a look at this. So here is the S&P 500. Now, what would be a 30% pullback justifying a true bear market beginning would essentially be breaking down to the $4,200 level. That 30% pullback is what you need to see for an actual recession to kick in. Now, a Great Depression goes well beyond that, but I want to know where your guys' heads are. I want to know where your guys' heads are on this, because it matters a lot to me. How you guys are going to handle the market matters a lot to me. I care about you guys, and I just want everyone that's on the outside of this massive mechanism of Federal Reserve and money printing to come out as winners. Now, with that being said, let's go into altcoins, because I want to see altcoins be winners too. I want to see altcoins win. Let's go here. I'm going to go to Coin360 just to look at the landscape again here real quick, Mr. Isaac. You're in danger. Oh, no, is it dumping again?
Yup.
Oh, my Lord. All right, let's see here. All right, so Bitcoin's at 103.8 on LBank. It's showing 103.62. Hyperliquid, a big pullback. And actually, I have a thesis about Hyperliquid that actually is pretty scary. Doobie-doo, don't be sad that sorry that ARC XBT went stack. I don't care, bro. I'm holding it because you support my damn channel. I will hold that token to zero gladly for you. I am not selling. I do not care. The people that support me, they're gonna get the love back from me. Now, as far as this goes, high tokens up. Look at me.
Look at that. Scam.
The crime season is here.
I love crime.
I actually got some pretty scary information about Hyperliquid, and actually a thesis that's been rolling in my mind ever since Coinbase launched their perpetual futures. Give me the full screen on this. I got a nugget behind me? Oh, what are you doing? Oh, she is
She wants the lava lamp again.
That's a turkey. Unbelievable. She really wants to take that lava lamp, doesn't she? Jasper, please be careful with the lava lamp, honey. I love you. All right, now, Ethereum co-founder Joseph Lubin, World Economic Forum puppet, now says that Ethereum Layer 1 will be the master ledger for the world. The master ledger for the world. Now, this is when I was driving into work, I had this thought. And it actually derives from something Gary Gensler said. Let's listen to what Gary Gensler said. We talk about Ethereum being the master ledger. Gary Gensler came out and I almost kind of agree with him here, which it really feels awkward. But let's go to this. Let's listen to this.
While something like Bitcoin may persist for a long time because there's 7 billion people around the globe, a real keen interest in it, there's 10 or 15,000 others of these tokens. And to think through your own risk, your own personal risk about where are the fundamentals. And if this is just about sentiment, then generally those don't end up well, and most then go down.
Are you talking, you're contrasting Bitcoin with the other ones, or you're just, they're all the same?
I think there's the distinction is similar to in metals. There's only 2 or 3 precious metals. We humans have a certain fascination with 2 or 3 precious metals like gold. I don't think we humans will have a fascination with 10 or 15,000 meme or sentiment tokens trading over the years.
You're muted, sir. You're muted.
Oh, okay. Sorry, I was negotiating with the daughter there. I kind of agree with him there. Chaotically enough, like, you know, it's like, what are we expecting? A fascination with thousands of crypto? Like, I could see room for about 100 long-term cryptos for the ecosystem of money and communications really having good staying power. God, it feels weird agreeing with him there. Like, is he wrong, chat? Is there room for 20,000 cryptocurrencies to last through the, you know, the next 10, 20 years? Give me your honest opinion about this. Ethereum is one of the ones that I actually do think has staying power. I don't think Joseph Lubin's conversation about it being the master ledger for the world will hold true forever. But honestly, smart contracts are the design of Ethereum. They are very, very built into DeFi. They're very built in the mechanisms that are actually being competitive with banks on a returns level, right? DeFi competes with banks on a returns level because you can earn more in DeFi and you don't need to be some accredited investor, some big fat cat. You can go there. You can go to DeFi Crypto and Airdrops YouTube channel that Veteran Crypto and Jeff work tirelessly on every single day. And they provide the information in detail on how people can compete with banks on returns and actually blow them out of the water. Now, you know, we have AI agents that are getting involved with DeFi. They're going to make it easier for the user to go back and forth between these pools as well. And Bitcoin competes with banks on the holding aspect because no one, like, people trust banks less and less every single day because of the fraud that's being found. Now, why ETH's been so sleepy? It feels like it's been very sleepy at around this $2,400 level. Ethereum inflows have been absolutely surging. PSYOP people, what the hell is going on? But price is suppressed. Why? Because hedge funds are record shorting Ethereum on the Chicago Mercantile Exchange. Absolutely wild to see this do them in tandem. And you know what? I mean, I got out of ETH to get into base plays. They have, you know, really outperformed Ethereum by a full long shot. But I never discount the intrinsic importance of Ethereum smart contracts developments. Now, this flag breaking down kind of looks a little scary. I'm leaving that flag there to keep a note of where it was. Ethereum on this shelf has just been very, very sticky. I mean, a very clear range going down to essentially $2,300 and up to $2,800. Very brutal. If you want to tie to range, it's really, you know, still within that 2,300 spot up to 26.8. But it's driving people absolutely nuts. You know, I think Ethereum's got staying power. This shelf is getting people a lot of aggravation. And honestly, a move like this would shake out so many damn people. It wouldn't even be funny. Now we got to go here. The 4 hour, the old school sticking points. It's more likely to actually hold at this essential spot at around $2,200 and not cascade under $2,000, in my personal opinion. If it did get near $2,000, then I would finally feel like maybe I'd buy a little bit of spot Ethereum just because. Follis kind of sees this though. He's seeing the higher lows being created and trying to see maybe that beginning of a parabolic move for Ethereum. But where the real juice to this conversation comes from is Ethereum to Bitcoin's chart. Let's go here. And actually, not looking bad at all. Not looking bad at all. This is Ethereum to Bitcoin on the 4 hour. Let's go to the weekly. Yeah, she's trying to hold. Oops. She's trying to hold this. Trying to hold it. So we'll see. We'll see if this is the sticking point for Ethereum to Bitcoin. You can see some old school volume levels that have been created at these points here in 2016. Again, here in 2020, right before the real nasty upside part of the bull market began. And in my opinion, I'm leaving this downward trend line versus Bitcoin there because Bitcoin is the alpha, but I could see us bumping our head against this trend line and gaining 144% against a Bitcoin, which is valued over $100,000 over the course of the next few months here. So seeing this, I think there's hope. But you know what? Be careful out there because I get burned trading Ethereum all the damn time. I'm much more effective at trading Bitcoin because I have much more data points to operate off of. And it's just got a way better track record. So I do what I can where I'm effective. Now, Coinbase has now issued a license to operate across all 27 member states of the United European Union, securing the MiCA license. This is a huge thing that you have to comply with in the EU to be able to operate in the countries in their legal designation. License is a massive step towards the future business in Europe for Coinbase. Very grateful for the close work with the regulator on making this happen. And interesting, Luxembourg, Coinbase's EU business in Luxembourg is kind of set up there. They're going to base their Coinbase headquarters in Luxembourg, Isaac.
Oh,
Do you know my history with Luxembourg?
Yeah, you talked about it this morning with me and Kelly.
I could go get a citizenship.
500 acres.
Yeah, dude.
Like, yeah, that's crazy.
And it's a small country. You know, the white earths are a big deal in Luxembourg.
The white
Not big. I'm kind of, you know what?
What?
I'm kind of a big deal in Luxembourg. Okay, maybe not in America. No,
that's okay.
Jean-Pierre, you know, we got the shield. I could go in there. And this show is brought to you by Glock as well. Shout out to him. The American ideal and where I grew up is what keeps me here in the United States. Not to mention the vast landscapes, the badass American anthem. You know, there's a lot of things that keep me in the United States. Hamburgers, right?
Oh, of course.
Hamburgers keep me here. Yeah, but interesting that Coinbase is setting up their headquarters out there in Luxembourg. Really crazy. Now, within the base ecosystem, speaking of Coinbase and their base, Pink Chain lending on Morpho, $100 million in total deposits on Morpho via the Unichain. This is Uniswap's Unichain. It's a layer 2, and the top 5 vaults by TVL listed here. But in general, the 7-day change is up nearly 40%. Nearly 40% growth on Morpho, while the price is being sleepy. This smells like opportunity to me. You know me, I love my Morpho. Let's go to Morpho. If alts are getting beat down, maybe we're getting a deal on Morpho today, down 6%. $1.21. Yesterday, someone asked me if we could get a $100.21. I said, absolutely yes. Well, here you go. Here you go. $1.21 is actually my original buy point, and then I completely hammered into this thing at 87 cents to really lower that entry point by leaps and bounds. Papa Goose. Papa Goose. Are you reading this chat? I mean, if you're watching this after, you're not going to get it. This is why you got to join the live chat, man. We got the best live chat on the planet. Much love to you.
Much love.
You are banned.
There
do what I must. Do what I have to. Not sorry.
So we're at $1.21 per unit on Morpho. Now let's going over to DeFi Llama and see if these inflows on Unichain are really shining through on the TVL side. Let's make sure. Don't trust, verify. Let's go here. All right. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Look at this. Look at this. And this is one of the bags that I am going to be going in there with Veteran Crypto and earning some on. Definitely got a good bag of this built up from that entry point. So yeah, excited to go in there and earn. This is actually Morpho from a fundamental level is being pushed by Coinbase to be the spot within their app where people can take their Bitcoin, get a loan out against their Bitcoin, but still hold the Bitcoin on Coinbase. So, you know, and keep in mind, Coinbase, if you're leaving the Bitcoin there, it's not truly yours, but if you have to get a loan, what are you doing? Well, what's up, Bronson? I don't know. I got like 30 stories. I got like 30 stories to get through here. We got a lot of stuff to cover. We'll be done soon, buddy, and then we'll go get a hamburger, okay? All right, so Morpho's looking good on TVL, on DeFi Llama. Man, I'm kind of getting enticed, but I am. Maybe I'll just throw some more, Tether into Morpho that I just earned last night and see if I can bolster the bags up that way. I'm feeling fine buying Bitcoin with the Tether that I'm winning on the charts. Because I feel like my altcoin bags are well packed. I mean, they got great low entry points. Don't want to get too crazy with it and get too overexposed to altcoins. Holy cow, good looking out too. Veteran Crypto said, look at the volume up 40% over the last 24 hours. The volume is up 40% on Morpho. Very, very crazy. Nice to see there. Whew. Shout out to Daniel R down in the Rumble chat too. Love you, man. Absolutely awesome. And you know what? Everyone that was able to kind of see the writing on the wall with Ethereum and what base was going to be. We moved into the base ecosystem with these key projects a long time ago. You guys are absolutely crushing it out there. I love you guys. Now, something that hasn't been crushing it, that's kind of driving me nuts, is Cardano. But we did see some hopium that I wanted to just touch on here. Ford Motor Company explores Cardano for legal data storage in an advisory role. So Cardano, Charles Hoskinson moving into talking to Ford on their data side for data storage. Very, very interesting move. I'm not personally interested in buying in the freaking new cars and all their little data things that they have. I hate it. I'm not going to do it. As long as I can, I'm going to fade new cars. And if they're Toyotas, I can fade them for the next 30 years. Imagine Drew driving around a 2018 Toyota Sequoia in the year 2050. And it's still
same one that you're driving right now.
Yeah, exactly. That'll be me. Now, a warning about one of the bigger movers that we've seen really taken the limelight here over the past few months, Hyperliquid. Hyperliquid's down 5%, down 17% on the weekend. These numbers are not why I feel like giving this nod of a warning to our viewers today. It is this. I agree with the smart ape in this assessment. The fundamentals are solid for Hyperliquid, but there's a serious threat right around the corner. Concerns about Hyperliquid, and really I can concisely cover this, is that Coinbase has rolled out futures availability in the United States that is, from a institutional level, from a regulatory compliance level, accepted to utilize futures with Coinbase in the United States very, very soon, if not already. And Robinhood is now buying up actual crypto firms, and they're looking to become a piece of the pie. And these are major, major companies, which in my opinion will drive some of the action that's currently offshore. Trading is happening in the United States offshore in a big, big way. And there's a lot of lost revenue. There's a lot of lost tax implications if people are able to go and inclined to go to these offshore exchanges to trade. You got Coinbase and Robinhood rolling it out, man. And big players are going to feel more comfortable going those routes. I'm sorry. It just is what it is. Now we got Plume exciting. Is Plume exciting, people? I topped off my bag like 2 days ago. How's Plume doing? I'm gonna go look at Plume real quick. Boom. Bam. Let's see here. Plume, right at my entry point.
Oh, yeah. Scary.
I'm just buying more Bitcoin. I got Plume. I got a good bag of Plume. I'm not, I hold it. I think that there's some action there. Man, altcoins are maddening. It's also maddening. Ondo is not telling us while he's looking forward to something going down on Ondo. We have BlackRock's involvement with Ondo. We have all these conversations from Coinbase and other organizations about putting Wall Street on their apps. We're really thinking about this. Kelly has been talking about how convoluted the competition sector is for Wall Street tokenizing stocks. Ondo's an early mover in there, and BlackRock's still a believer. The current chair, Paul Atkins, worked on the Securitize board, and he did work with the Biddle project, which is connected to Ondo in a very, very tangible way. I'm holding the Ondo. It's a risk play. And I'm buckled up for up or downside on Ondo. Man, I got to take chances at massive, massive growth. Ondo has that chance, that potential to be one of the massive, massive growers over the next few years here, potentially even a massive speculation pump within this year. But when we're talking about tokenizing Wall Street, that is a multi-year conversation. So let's not get too ahead of ourselves and expectations of Ondo going to $100 over this next 6 months here. Just keep it based. You know, if you see the pumps against Bitcoin, for the love of God, take those profits, folks. Now, Tron founder Justin Sun met with executive director digital assets Bo Hines, and they're discussing Tron and the blockchain's role in advancing U.S. crypto leadership. Tron, Southeast Asia play in crypto sector, now getting in conversation with the man right under David Sachs, who's the crypto czar of the United States. And Sachs has some more to say about the Genius Act in a larger conversation of what these stable coins are actually doing to world markets. This is a barn burner. Let's have a
Well, I
listen.
think this is a huge milestone, Maria. I mean, this has been years since the Senate has passed bipartisan legislation like this. And what this bill does is provide a regulatory framework for the stablecoin industry so that digital dollars can be issued online. I think this will increase confidence in the stablecoin industry. It'll encourage the issuers to come onshore into the United States. Previously, the lack of clarity was driving the innovation offshore. And it's going to provide additional consumer protection because the stablecoin issuers have to be audited on a quarterly basis. Token holders can be confident that for every token that's issued, there's $1 reserved in a U.S. bank account. And as a result of that, we could see the float of stablecoins grow from hundreds of billions into possibly trillions, creating new demand for U.S. Treasury. So I think this is a big win for the crypto community, and I think it's a big win for the president's agenda.
Man, he is saying some big stuff right here. I'm going to unpack that in a second, but I got to get to some comments here. Blockchain James asking, Jay, how do you do that? In response to Jay, talking about being able to stack Aerodrome every Wednesday. They get paid in Aerodrome every Wednesday in their DeFi group, and that DeFi group comes from this beautiful, illustrious double knife hands, you know, badass. No other way to say it, badass veteran crypto and Jeff at DeFi Crypto and Airdrops. Okay, those dudes. If you want to get involved with DeFi, I'm working with Vet. You know, because I'm a very heavy into charts. I got 4 kids. I don't act like I got all the time in the world to really wrap my arms around these DeFi and these liquidity pools. I'm working with Vet to make sure to put the Aerodrome bags that I got to work, because I'm very good at knowing where the money's flowing and the general migratory pattern of conversation of which exchange is going to blow up, where the money's going to actually land. Now we got great projects, Aerodrome, Morpho. I'm going to put them to work. About to jeet AVAX, David Middleton. Let's go look at AVAX real quick before we get back to this, because this is what's going on. This is what's going on here. Hold on. Where is it? This is what's going on. 2021 Solana summer, 2025 stablecoin summer. Whoa. This is what's getting people absolutely going mad, is these stablecoin inflows are absolutely exploding. The general crypto market, if you take it as an aggregate for market cap, is exploding, but this is something we thought about quite some time ago, as regulatory clarity came in. Maybe the massive move to this $3.2 trillion market cap that we currently see, Bitcoin is moving with it. You know, and you would think 3.2 trillion, the rest of the market's moving right now. That rest of the market's really seeing massive moves in the stable coin issuance and the stable coin market caps as well. Okay. This is something, it's the psyop of a century. And this is why learning how to earn, how to make money slowly and protect it quickly in crypto is going to win in the long term, you guys. Like, I keep emphasizing this. I keep talking about it. It is what it is. Isaac, oh my God, where is the trade at right now? Do I dare look?
I'm in danger.
You are in danger.
I'm down like 14% right now.
Oh, you're only down 14%? Tis but
Yeah,
a scratch.
tis but a scratch. But I'm holding this motherfucker until we hit 106 again, so I'm chilling.
Yeah, well,
great.
103.5 is actually a pretty important spot.
That was where
That's
the
the bottom
liquidity
end of
was.
this
That's where
trend.
you wanted, right?
It is where I want it. I mean, I might be able to get into it after here.
I mean, we are under 135 right now, so
yeah, I might check it out. Now I got to keep moving here. So we got to go back to this. David Sachs talking about stablecoin growth, stablecoin summer, new demand for U.S. Treasuries. Well, with that demand for U.S. Treasuries, it's expanding. The Tether CEO is now talking about launching a new product for the United States financial markets that will comply with regulations coming from the Genius Act as well. I love me my Tether. I hope they leave my Tether that I'm using alone. Not horribly interested in using the one that they designed for America. We'll see where this pushes me. But a very, very interesting take from the Sheik FLR Crypto that was reposted by Kelly Kellum is that he talking about Trump going to use these stable coins to bypass the Federal Reserve. The U.S. Treasury can then issue stablecoin and Treasury bonds, but not U.S. dollars. Only the Fed can do that currently. If Treasury bonds can back stablecoins, once the Genius Act passes, this would allow the Treasury to create currency for the first time in many decades outside of the control of the Federal Reserve. Very, very intriguing thought process there. And, it's something that, we've complained, like Trump can't take Jerome Powell. Trump can't stop the Federal Reserve. But what they can do is roll out the Genius Act that Mr. David Sachs is talking about and start issuing currency through the Treasury. Freaking mind-blowing right there. I got to go down to the Rumble chat. We got some conversation here from Mr. Colonels. Putting my money in USDC safer. Is putting my money in USDC safer and better than standard savings account? If so, what exchange should I leave it on? You know what? Leaving it on an exchange, I don't recommend. Earning on it, earning yield. One of the long-standing DeFi players in the world, Aave, comes to my mind for like the most solid ecosystems, but also there's places for USDC within the base ecosystem that I'm sure we can find and get that. In terms of leaving a bunch of cash in banks, there's a very fundamental reason why I don't trust leaving money in banks, and it is this. It is my favorite graph in crypto. We're going to the FDIC. We're going to the FDIC, the Federal Deposit Insurance Corporation website here. This is the fundamental reason why I don't trust it. So what happened in 2008 is the Dodd-Frank Act was put out as the financial system began to crumble. So the Dodd-Frank Act was put out so that banks could actually do what's called a bail-in. Okay, they could go into my bank account. They can go into your bank account in the United States to fix the losses, the collapses of their banks when they hit a certain level of FHLB rating where the bank owned twice as much as they were worth on the books. It would be absorbed by the FDIC. It would bail in. They would go into our bank accounts in the future is what the Dodd-Frank Act set into play. So now that they can legally do that, well, let's take a look at how likely it is that something like that might actually happen for small to mid-sized banks. Well, here's that massive collapse, the crisis of 2008, 2007, right here in this little tiny bump in the road is what it looks like now. This is the current unrealized losses level that these banks are now sitting on. This is why, amongst the other reasons what the Federal Reserve is being asked to lower interest rates is because the banks are crumbling under their own weight. And it's also a reason why a lot of these real estate managers are like, hey, Bitcoin actually looks good because they're so underwater with the interest rate levels currently at the precipice of pushing these real estate giants into bankruptcy. And guess what? The real estate interest rates are not even tied to the federal interest rate, the Federal Reserve's interest rate. They're tied to Treasury bond yield. Because if you can park your money in a Treasury bond yield for 5%, why the hell would you go out there and lend it on the open market to real estate investors or single family investors when you're getting a worse return with even more risk? So that was a whole lot. Now we're going to talk about Hex. What happened to Hex? What?
The Hexicans get deported.
Hexicans got completely deported. I'm kind of perplexed that I haven't heard from Hex in quite some time. Let's go check out the chart, folks. Let's go check out the chart. And now this is always what they say. They're like, you're looking at the wrong Hex chart. Well, I'm
wrong.
Sure that this is the right Hex chart, the pulse chain movement, the pulse chain migration. Hexicans were probably the most vile, most aggressive, most asshole-ish sounding crypto holders on the planet. They would come out here and yell at us all the time for being bearish on their stupid project. And you know what? Now we're sitting here with being down 90% from all-time highs. Let's see here. Oh, it won't even give me that. This is down 90% from this midterm all-time high. They had all the hype. They were dancing around everyone. And then now back into the depths of hell of which you came, Hexicans. I wonder if there are any Hexicans out in the chat. Let me know so we can deport you back to Hexico in which you came.
Where you belong.
We got to go here. Oh, so does someone actually think I have Trump derangement syndrome?
The anti-Trump thumbnails are so stupid. There's no TDS here. Yes,
What does our thumbnail look like?
Our thumbnail is I put Trump in a what's it called? In the
in a 90?
Yeah.
Let's see. I want to see.
He's just chilling. Like,
let's look at it. That's a great thumbnail. We're tired. And this is the retail feel of Bitcoin. We're tired, boss. We're tired. You know what? There's a lot Trump's dealing with, though. And if he were to back off of this Iran situation, he'd look weak. Like, what are you supposed to do? Look weak to Iran when they're freaking getting ready? They've been trying to cyber attack America for 3 to 4 decades. What are you supposed to do? Okay, you guys can do whatever you want, right? What do you
Please get inside of our mainframe. Hurry up.
Now, Circle, we've been having FOMO about Circle. It surged another 10% pre-market after a 34% rally. Oh my God. Stablecoin summer is just brutal on the upside. The real alt season is oh my God. Circle. What in the world? Oh. It goes up till it's tired at this point, man. Like, there is no TA. This is like, I saw it come out. I was like, can I please just have this channel? And then it does this before the market's even open, heads to the next channel, this before the market even opens. I mean, this is absolutely ridiculous, bro. This is what altcoins are supposed to look like. Instead, Circle absolutely going ballistic. And now, I gotta maybe take just a little bit, maybe a couple shares. But God, man, what do you do in that up only situation? What I do in up only situation, I wait till pullbacks. That thing has absolutely been crushing. Stablecoin summer is real. Now, with this, South Korea central bank says that it won't oppose a won peg stablecoin for themselves. But the real devil in the details here is that the South Korean government does not want a U.S. stablecoin to become available to their people. And then the U.S. stablecoin will be the preferred entry for their population and cause a capital flight out of their state-sponsored stablecoin. Also within the Korean sector, North Korean hackers have deployed new info-stealing malware through fake job sites targeting blockchain professionals. So be careful if you're out there getting jobs in the crypto space. They know that you got some cash. They got some crypto going on. They know where this is all going. Something that, a lot of people are cut about are where XRP is going. On-chain data is painting a bearish picture. Now XRP wallet creation down nearly 80% since January, and daily active addresses have plunged from $577,000 to $34,000. XRP confidence might be fading fast here. So much is going on. So many things are going on. And also Van Eck, just to add to the chaos, talking about potential Pudgy Penguin listings. Something is going on at Van Eck with Pudgy Penguins that we got to watch out for on Monday. It almost makes me want to buy a Pudgy token, but not that much. And of course, the coup de grace of chaos. 4th U.S. aircraft carrier is now preparing to surge for CENTCOM. Norfolk-based USS Harry Truman Strike Group has been seen quickly readying for sea. And I do believe that they have actually arrived in the location. And this just came out. The Nimitz Carrier Group has arrived in the Middle East this weekend is the plan. So they're going to arrive this weekend. We're keeping an eye on that. And there's only one president that has played the piano with his penis Can you guess which president has been known to play the piano with his penis? In the chat, give me a shout out if you know who I'm talking about, folks. The psyop of the world is real.
Oh, fuck.
The craziness of this world just will not stop.
I'm cooked.
You're cooked?
Yeah, I'm down 25%, 26%.
Oh, no.
We just keep on going, baby.
Oh my God!
Fuck
yes,
me harder,
Zelensky.
Daddy.
We got
Fuck
Zelensky
me.
is the man. F Ukraine, nailed it. Yeah, this is the reality of the situation, folks. They lied to us about Afghanistan, Iraq, Syria, Libya, about weapons of mass destruction. Also Vietnam, Iran, North Korea, Venezuela, Guatemala, Honduras, Haiti, Cuba, Panama, Nicaragua. But they're telling you the truth about Ukraine. Wrong. Wrong. They're not telling the truth about Ukraine, and we can never trust the powers that be. And also, China came out with research on how to trigger large-scale outages for the systemic collapse of Western power grids. Oh, fun. So now they're openly releasing their research on how to exploit vulnerabilities within Western power grids. They're mapping us out concisely on how to shut down our energy. Absolutely crazy to see this openly talked about by the Chinese government. You know, we're getting warnings from the CIA talking about the U.S. will likely face a massive cyber attack that they'll blame on Iran. But then the next 30 days, yet China's out here releasing how to exactly do it. That sounds like a problem to me. And you know what, ladies, if you're watching all this go down, this is a good message for you.
He isn't cheating on you, baby girl. It's end times. He's building a militia with the boys.
That's a perfect note to leave this show off on, folks. Your heritage is their enemy. Radicalize or die. Take control of your own assets. Get your crypto off exchanges. Learn how to be a man of virtue. Learn how to be physically capable to defend your family. Get prepared in case things keep getting worse, folks, because boy, howdy, we are entering the phase of no return. Is Chainlink also dumping too? What do we got on Chainlink here? $12.40. Altcoins are absolutely getting ripped.
I'm down 30%.
100. You're down 30%.
Hodl or die.
Oh my God.
I either win big or get liquidated. There's no in between.
Oh my God. I got a lot of tether. But should am I YOLO and in? Is Genius Maximus ready to actually get back into the market here?
Do I just throw some more tether at myself so I can lower my
No. This is your tuition money. Okay. I gave, this is, your small bag of $100 is why I'm out here having you actively learn with a small amount of money. Okay. So you can really figure out how to make stuff. How to make tether. Okay. I don't suggest you do that, Isaac. So don't suggest you do that. I love and appreciate every single one of you out there. You guys are freaking awesome. Stay based, stay cray, get that crypto off exchanges. We'll see if these carrier groups cause an even deeper dip this weekend. And I love and appreciate you guys. I'll see you very soon. Make sure to tune in 5 p.m. for our Bitcoin IRA deep dive. We'll see you soon.